against Liverpool.
Yeah.
What do you think about the lineup? Why am I acting like I'm modding? But
Nah, go for it.
Do you know what it is? Tsemz decided that he's not going to mod today. He's just
I swear.
That's not true.
But
We were chilling.
seeing as you said lineup,
Yeah, go on then.
mid, just mid everywhere. Like mid in goal, mid in defense, apart from Banashile and Thiago Silva.
Any badder.
Mid in midfield, apart from Jorginho, mid up front. Like when you look at Chelsea lineups now, it pisses me off when rival fans are like, "Oh, why do they spend the money?" I'm like, look at this team,
Fam,
You've
we
got-
spent and we still look.
bro. You got a centre back at right back. You've got an 18-year-old playing in midfield. You got 2 Rottweilers playing as 8s. You got one guy smoking shisha. I don't want to be here playing on the right wing. And you got a German guy who doesn't. If we don't know if he's going to turn up or not.
We're gonna speak about those 3 people that you mentioned: the Rottweiler, the teenager, and
Which Rottweiler?
The blonde one.
the blonde
to
one.
this-
No.
Goldilocks.
The
Goldilocks.
the brunette one as well.
We're gonna speak on both of them, and then we'll speak on the teenager a little bit as well because mix of views.
Before we get into the bad stuff, I want to get into the good stuff, man.
Yeah, go on.
This Mudryk, whatever you want to call him, man.
Mikhailo Mudryk.
I want to say, yeah, I don't know if it's because I've been starved, I've been deprived, but I was seeing stuff
Fam.
that I have not seen in a long time.
Forward passes.
A forward pass. I
Fam.
was seeing him skin Milner. That's what it took for me to.
Jinking with purpose. He wasn't just doing nothing like Pulisic and passing back. This guy was actually going forward. Even Chukwuemeka was like, he was confused. He's thinking, oh, the ball came first time. I don't see this in training.
1-2.
I never heard that before. I never seen that before. Hey, do you know what it is? When he got the ball, like I don't know what I say, but like you know when he just did that little trick, I was moaning. I was like screaming. I was like, damn.
Yeah, man.
So,
Nah,
The decisiveness of passing forwards
God.
is what we needed.
nah, Omar, like we dad knew. We said in the FMGC when like people kept saying, Chelsea needs to play back 4 because the attackers. We need to unlock attackers. We were like, bro, these attackers are shit. And once you get good, high level, high IQ strikers, we'll see a difference. I mean, attackers. And you saw it like, okay, fair enough. Mudryk's first touch is a bit shaky, but once he's got it under control, my goodness.
put in mind that this guy in place since November.
He ain't played since November.
Fam.
He was watching World Cup like us, and he still performed better than people that went to World Cup who were match fit. Mason Mount, I'm talking to you.
Do you know what it is? I think I'm not surprised he didn't start, obviously, because of the fact that he hasn't played since November. But genuine question, I think you actually said it earlier. I feel like at the moment, minus all the new signs that have come in, we've reached a point where these lineups, there is no lineup you will ever see where we'll be like, yeah, this is it.
Yeah, for now, it won't happen for a long time. Until everyone's back. You're still going to look at the lineup and going to think, because, fam, we're spending, but we've still got poo here. Like, there's going to be a time that you're going to see Loftus-Cheek again. Like, it's going to happen.
Bro, like, it just shows how down bad we are. And like, let's start with the first half, for instance. Like, guys, I think that shows why we need all these new attackers, even though it's 2 years since we bought them. Like, we're just so toothless. Like, Liverpool weren't pressing us. They were engaging high. They weren't really pressing. So, like, we could play through them. But once it got to the final third, it kept breaking down. And I know I say this a lot, but this is why I want technical ballers. Because
Fam.
Connor takes 3 or 4 touches to control football.
He don't even scan the pitch. Like,
Yeah,
No awareness.
at all.
Him and Mount don't scan.
Yeah.
So, like, even when they do receive the ball, because they're taking such a long time, it gives the defenders a chance to set. And that's why attacks are so slow. Like,
It's not just about their scanning, it's about their awareness. Like, there's one part with Mason Mount,
Second half, innit?
bro. The ball came to me. He was in the 12-yard box, like where the penalty spot was. This guy thought, okay, there's someone in front of you, but like you can maybe try put it in like the bottom corners or like try to do something. This guy put it out wide to Lewis Hall.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Lewis Hall should have done good, but bro, I even said in the group chat, World Cup quarterfinal, it's the last minute. This guy wanted to try a 45-yard shot against France.
Oh, fam.
And it went straight into the crowd. But 12 yards out is where he couldn't have the decision to think, let me try and make this keeper work.
He passed if I even look at this.
Idiot, bro.
they're all set 8. They're all set 8. I'm telling you.
Do you know
they're
what?
set
Yeah.
8.
Speaking of attacks, let's speak on Kai Havertz. I think he's someone who's under a lot of criticism recently, and rightly so. In my opinion.
Yeah.
But what did we think of him yesterday? I think
I thought he was decent. And what I always say, you don't need numbers on the board for me to say you had a good game. After a while, of course, if there's still no numbers on the board, I'm still going to be like, look, you need to put it up because like we're going to need something tangible. But you can still pop a good performance and not get anything on the board. I thought he was decent. But again, what my main gripe with Kai, and I've said this before, is his consistency. If you can keep up good performances, then like I'm sure a lot of the fan base anyway would be more okay with him. I don't know if it's because now more attackers are coming in and he feels like there's a threat of his position. Like he could be going like to the bench or even being sold or whatever. But like it's stuff like that I wanted to see more of him. And to be fair, he looked sharp. And that goal disallowed was a bit weird. I still don't fully understand it, but that could have changed the game. And we could have all been like, yeah, Kai had a good game because he scored, or now we sit and think, but now he's just decent because he didn't.
Apparently, if Niz, like one of the Chelsea journalists, he said that if Kai had, if Thiago Silva had, if Alisson had saved it, then it would have been offside because it wouldn't have counted as a pass, but because it hit the post, it counts as a pass. So
it's weird. If Silva had scored, it would have been a goal,
but I think Silva was
Kai was the one that was
Kai was.
After
Milner kept Thiago on, and then it was because it was Havertz's foot just in front of the ball, not in front of, because he was behind Thiago Silva, but in front of the ball. Like it was a weird rule.
Yeah, like I thought it was all right.
Like, the margins,
like first half, it was all right. Like he was trying to link up play with people that can't play football, and he was basically feeding off nothing. The second half, I don't know if because he was isolated, but he just disappeared.
Well, he has hoopers around him, or so we hope. Let's see them play properly first. So he hasn't got any more excuses for me. He's been here long enough. I'm not hearing this January he'll click on. I'm not hearing this Bundesliga tax or he needs to adjust to the league. No, he's been here. We've got João Felix now. We've got Noni. We've got Mudryk. I'm not hearing anything.
But this is the thing about Kai, is that there's been so many excuses, they'll just find another one. Like before, I remember they were saying when we bought Lukaku, we spent 70 million on Havertz just to not, like trust him and whatnot. Okay, the whole situation with Lukaku happened. We now put our faith in Kai. He had that purple patch, and then afterwards, like we trust him, and he gives nothing until second half of the season. And then they're saying, but you don't have hoopers around him. All right, now we've got hoopers around him. Like put something on the board and like show us something.
They're gonna say he's suffering from COVID again.
Do you know what it is?
That Kai
he's homesick, misses dog or whatever.
Do you know what it is? It's like I feel like with him, because we treat him as a striker, I feel like it's only fair that we sort of provide him the service. I'm not saying he hasn't done badly because he has, but like we were saying yesterday, he was trying to link up with guys who couldn't play football, and after time you just lose your confidence. It's like with Sterling when he first came in, he was actually looking bright, but then slowly and surely he realized some of these men can't kick ball, so it just affects the entire team.
But Sterling, like the difference with Sterling is, even if everyone's playing shit, including himself, he will still, like I said, get a goal, get an assist.
Yeah.
He'll put up something tangible and said, I played shit, but at least I left with something.
I got my goal in there. I don't know about you.
Bro, I don't even see that from Kai.
I think that's why. That's why a lot of people, including myself, gave Mount a bit of leeway last season.
I was trying to give him leeway, fam.
No, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
Listen,
last season
when we get on to him, I've got a monologue.
last season he was pants in terms of performances, but his output was amazing. Let's not even front about that.
Yeah, okay, of course.
But before we talk about him,
no, he's right.
Tsemz, you and I, we both went to uni in Norwich. Yeah. We know the Norwich team is not good. So when he's doing all that stuff against Norwich, I'm not trying to hear it.
No, I hear it, but
man.
But it just goes to Omar's point, innit? Like, yeah, he was crap, but
he left with
that's why I was fine with him starting over people like Pulisic and Ziyech, who would play crap and leave with nothing. But this season, he's playing crap and he's leaving with nothing.
I'm not trying to. Okay, before we move on, I'm not trying to defend Pulisic or Ziyech, or any of the attackers, but Mount's the only one that's been allowed to play himself.
So let's not even move on. Let's talk about this because I woke up this morning. I woke up this morning at 8:30, and the first thing I did after praying is I went to Twitter and I wrote 4 tweets, 4 paragraphs about how this guy is actually a hindrance.
I've been feeling like this since the 26th.
An absolute hindrance.
December.
Hey, Omar, were you in that space when it was Rubio screaming?
I can't remember.
He was shouting about Mount. Like, guys, when it comes to like Mount, I'd probably say Tsemz and Rubio are quite level-headed. The tweets these lot have been spewing, you now hate him, innit? You've come to the dark side.
It had to happen. Go on, Seamus. You go first. I'll go after.
No, like I said, I gave Mount leeway last year, small leeway, just because he was putting numbers on the board. Yes, some of them against relegation fodder, but do you know what? Goals that we actually needed, since we could only beat people like Watford 2-1. So that was fine. But this season, it's like we don't know what he's good at. He doesn't even know his own position. We still debate about his position. He doesn't put any numbers on the board. He has no talent. He has no specialism. But yet he forces his way into the team every single time. I'm trying to figure out, what are we not seeing? Is there something that all the managers are not seeing that I start seeing that we're not?
Because we said this before, like in previous pods. There's no
Guys, I'm smiling right
there's
now.
but
I'm bringing receipts, by the way.
there's no sort of reason why what we're seeing is different to what the manager's seeing. Because like I said, Lampard wanted to shoehorn him into the team. Tuchel did the same. Potter's now doing the same. Southgate for England, who's got no loyalties to clubs, is doing the same thing. So clearly, I don't know what they're seeing is making them shoehorn Mount into the team. But like and we've always, Mudryk, we all here agree that Mount, obviously, I don't mind him in the team if he's like a bench player, squad player. I don't mind. But when you're demanding 300k a week, you got to be proving why you're worth 300k a week. And I know, I think I saw something. To be fair, I know, if I'm not mistaken, Mount actually has the most shirt sales in the club. So maybe they see it as like a franchise sort of thing, but he's not a franchise player for a big club like Chelsea.
Every player that comes, they talk about Reece James. No one talks.
Reece James is that's the one that we should
want to play with Mason Mount. I know anyone say that.
You never will.
It's like, you know what? Yeah, you know. Was it? I think it was Rubio. I think you said it on the Reactionary Blues account. You're saying, look, we got a new attack: Mudryk, Felix, and Mudryk. We're gonna call them MMF. And then shout out Fumi. She said, but the second name's gonna stand for Mount because he's just gonna find his way into the team.
No, that was Timmy did it on the account. He did the fit. But yeah, you're right. It's like, and this is what I said on the account yesterday. I was going off because I was angry. I was like, he's going to handicap our team in terms of how we attack.
No, there's a difference between players being bad and players actually being a hindrance to your team.
Holding the team back.
From that time where that tweet that we saw that said we almost didn't get João Felix
Yeah.
because of Mount.
That's
Are you taking the piss?
That's why I was
Are you
arguing.
taking the
I was pissed off
piss?
because I was like, this is the issue. We nearly didn't get one of the most creative forwards in Europe. Bear in mind, we lack creativity because of my man. So why is he in the team? Like, I'll give you an example.
Because all these
Some
guys
fans
above,
agreed.
They think he's something that he's not.
That's what it is.
Like, I pray Bowley was listening in that space that he was in. That
Brody
time.
was in the space, yeah. These lot will talk about Rice. So yeah.
So he cut in it.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like, you look at United, for instance. We all saw Harry Maguire. You saw how shaky, how uneasy he made the defense was. The defense. You take him out of the team. I asked my cousins, they support United. They're like, Varane looks better. AWB looks better. Shaw looks better. Obviously, you've got the addition of Casemiro, but without Maguire, there's not that unease. There's not like, oh, we're going to concede here. There's not that clumsiness. And you can see United they're better for it. They've got better defense now. With us now, it's up to Potter to grow some balls and say, Mount, drop him.
Literally.
Because I'm not having this anymore.
Yeah.
Happening, bro.
No, but this why can't
Like, it has to happen
because he's limited.
Like, even
Do you
the
know
thing,
why?
even we're comparing before, yeah. The way Hashem said last year, we'll give him leeway. I was giving him leeway because he was the worst of he was the best of a bad bunch, innit? We've got João Felix now. We've got Nkunku coming. There's no reason why I should say. Thank you. There's no reason why I should say, oh, Mount can stay and play out of form. Because, excuse me, that's the same fan base that was chatting shit about Koulibaly. It hasn't even been a whole season. They said, you know what? This is a bad transfer. Why is he here? So why is Mount allowed to be here for 2.5 years or how many and do jack
I've
shit?
got stuff to go off my, like, expecting Chelsea they're idiots. Because every single time it's a foreign player, whether it be Jorginho, as Arrizabalaga, whether it be Kova, they're always on them. Always on them. They're like,
Quickly.
they're not playing well. Why are they in the team? This, that. But when it's Mount, it's like, why are people always going on?
Cobham. It's Cobham.
Yeah,
They feel like
he's-
Cobham is protected.
Stop Chelsea.
I don't give a fuck about proper Chelsea. I'm not proper
Thank
Chelsea.
you.
Someone said that on one of my tweets today. That's not proper Chelsea.
It doesn't matter about proper Chelsea.
But what I was actually gonna say was, like, I know a lot of us share this kind of opinion, but I feel like at the same time, we might even be in this sort of echo chamber where the majority of Chelsea fans, believe it or not, they love Mount. They love that guy, man. You'll be so surprised. You go to the Chelsea Stadium, you go to Stamford Bridge, yeah? How many people love Mount? They love that guy. And even How many people hate Jorginho? When I go to Stamford Bridge, there's so many of them that are like, shouting abuse at Jorginho that they would never do at Mount.
Exactly.
And I'm not here to compare, but
xenophobia, bro.
it's because the problem players are obviously protected. But we need to know.
And even the media do
No,
that.
but Omar, it's a specific type of common player. It's if you're white and British, because Christensen was called Bitchinson for a very long time, and he's now balling in Barcelona.
Oh, my boosie hurts.
Tomori, no one really, apart from like us guys, no one really cared about him going. Neither did they care about Tammy going. If Mount goes, there's gonna be uproar because he's seen as a face. And
It shouldn't be uproar because look, I was even saying Portuguese. João Felix is coming. Yeah, listen, this guy is one of the world's best talented footballers. If I'm bringing him to take Mount out, why am I gonna scream?
Do you know what it is? Yeah, let me just round off this Mount segment with this. Yeah, I trust I've seen him, Mudryk. I trust him.
We're not ending with Mount, yeah.
No, wait.
All it took was 30 minutes of Mudryk and 60 minutes of Felix.
I trust him. Havertz, I trust him enough to play around the other two.
Yeah.
Noni, this is no pressure on you, by the way. If you're not training hard enough now, train harder than Mount. Do you understand? I feel like that's the only anyone in training for Chelsea who is not training hard enough, train harder than Mount.
That's not enough.
Do you understand?
That's not enough.
It has to be.
It's not enough,
This is the
bro.
thing.
It has to be.
Bro, you could train harder than him. Mount's still going to find his way into the team.
But this is why it's an issue, because it's a limited player. Chelsea said it perfectly yesterday. Like Thiago Silva, Kante, Reece James, they're viewed as the best players in their position, not in just the league, but in the world. Mount is not top 10.
Fam, and you know what's funny? This just before we came,
Why does we get
just
this
before I left my house, I was watching this YouTuber, innit? Like, I don't know if you lot watch him, yeah. It's called like Other Side of the Coin or whatever, yeah. So he was talking about how we've had so much, yeah. We've had so much time of Mount and we can't get rid of whatever, cool. And I was talking about, if we lose him, are we going to miss him? And some guy said, if we lose him, it's going to be the same as Hazard when he left. Are you mad? We've lost Iron Robin. We nearly lost Drogba. We lost Hazard. Even the Lampard that towards the end of his career, yeah, we lost him too. Look at the talent we've lost. So you think now I'm going to cry and look, Mount, you should stay. Because I guarantee you, if I want Mount here, you'll be a squad player. He's not going to be a star.